Chapter 14 Blueprint Your Investments. Lesson: An investment policy statement is an important part of your investing toolkit and should not be neglected. Building a portfolio without an investment policy statement, IPS, is like building a home without a blueprint. When building a home, it is important to pre-plan the layout or floor, along with the materials that will be used. An architect designs the plans to your specification. These plans change during construction, but the general layout is likely maintained. Can you imagine what it would look like if you didn't have a blueprint? The bathroom could end up in the garage, or the bedroom could end up where you wanted the kitchen. Telling the builders what goes where would be chaos. You would make every decision spontaneously, whether rational or not. The same reason applies to your IPS. As mentioned in Lesson 1, a financial plan is the movie script of your life. Similarly, the IPS is the blueprint that builds the set for the movie to take place. It is a document that allows you to choose the type of investments or materials you like to use. It lays out the allocation or floor plan. The document will also take into account any major life goals, such as purchasing a home or sending your children to school. You are essentially building what you would like your investment life to look like through a rational game plan. This plan increases your chances of achieving overall goals. Below is a list of some components of a well-crafted IPS. This is not an exhaustive list, and the document is customizable, but this gets you started on what it takes to create your IPS. Investment objectives and time horizon. Include long-term and short-term goals along with the amount of time you expect to be invested. Risk-return profile. Outline your expected return and the amount of volatility and risk you are expecting to achieve that return. Asset allocation and targets. Create a current allocation of your investments to benchmark where your portfolio is now and where you'd like it to be in the future. Rebalancing schedule. Set a reasonable expectation for how often your portfolio will be rebalanced to ensure risk and expected return will be reevaluated. Liquidity requirements. Dictate how liquid your investments need to be along with cash flow needs. Creating an IPS does take work. That is why, in spite of the importance of an IPS, many investors do not use them and don't know what one is, unless they previously hired or currently utilize a professional money manager. Out of the thousands of clients I have worked with that manage their own money, maybe 5 were working from an IPS before meeting me. A professional does not have a choice. When they have entered an advisory agreement, it is part of their duty to keep an IPS on file and review it regularly. An individual investor does not have a fiduciary responsibility to themselves. They often make investment decisions based on emotion, as opposed to logic and reason that moves them towards objectives. In 2008, one of the clearest examples of disaster striking for not having an IPS took place. This is not an isolated incident. I've seen this happen to many investors without an advisor or IPS. The market was doing well for quite some time before the crash. The overall stock market rose, which ballooned the equity allocation of many portfolios. Investors with moderate portfolios may have reallocated to aggressive portfolios because they never trimmed down the stock, which was growing quickly as a percentage of the portfolio. We know what happened next. Many saw their portfolios take on more losses than they would have if they had just rebalanced and stuck with a more moderate allocation. If you don't put your allocation in writing, it is virtually impossible to keep track of when to rebalance. An investment policy statement has the ability to keep us focused when reviewed yearly. Many distractions come up in our investing lives. Extreme upward or downward market swings can lead us off course. This causes us to become more aggressive or conservative than we need to be. I have conversations with clients about whether they are comfortable with the risk levels in their portfolios. I usually redirect the client's attention back to their goals and the reason why they are investing in the first place. This is because clients typically have a financial plan and IPS in place. This gives us a blueprint to follow. Creating an IPS does not have to be complicated. In most cases, having something is better than nothing. If you use an advisor, you likely already have one and review your plan regularly. If you're investing on your own, many tools and templates are available online. It is important to consider your investment policy statement as a living document and have the ability to change it when necessary. An IPS will typically only change when major life events occur, such as having a child, getting married, or experiencing a liquidity event, like selling a business. You might also change the document to adjust risk levels depending on how your portfolio performs over an extended period of time. When building your financial house, make sure you have a proper blueprint or IPS in place. It is well worth the planning. It means the difference between achieving your goals successfully or falling short. It can also serve as a comfort tool to reference when a storm like 2008 strikes again. Things to remember. Number 1, an IPS is the blueprint for your investments. Number 2, creating an IPS helps you stay focused on investment objectives. Number 3, review your IPS regularly and adjust it according to your situation.